General characteristics or properties of bacteria. They are unicellular, prokaryotic microorganisms which cannot be seen by naked eye and can be seen only under the microscope. They do not contain nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles such as mitochondria, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum. Not all bacteria are motile. If motile, locomotion occurs by the help of flagella. They contain single circular DNA as their genetic materials. Mesosomes help in respiration and energy production. Ribosomes are of 70S type. Reproduction occurs by binary fission. Contains a tough and rigid cell wall made from peptidoglycan. Phagocytosis and pinocytosis do not occur. Some non-pathogenic are useful to humans and animals. Bacteria may be pathogenic or non-pathogenic. Can be cultured in artificial condition in laboratory on various types of culture media. Classification of bacteria. Bacteria are classified into two categories. A. Morphological classification of bacteria. B. Anatomical classification of bacteria. A. Morphological classification of bacteria. 1. The basis of morphology. Bacteria can be classified into two major groups. 1. Lower or true bacteria. 2. Higher bacteria. In morphological classification of bacteria, lower or true bacteria has A. Cocci or singular coccus. Round or oval spherical shaped bacteria are called as cocci. On the basis of arrangement of bacterial cells, cocci are of following types. 1. Monococci. When a single or only one round or spherical bacteria, that is, cocci, present, then it is called as monococci. For example, Micrococcus flavus. 2. Diplococci. When two spherical bacteria, that is, cocci, occurs in pairs attached to each other, the bacteria is called diplococci. For example, Streptococcus pneumoniae, Neisseria gonorrhea. 3. Staphylococci. When many cocci occurs in grapes bunch-like cluster, then they are collectively called as staphylococci. For example, Staphylococcus aureus. 4. Streptococci. When many cocci occurs in chain-like cluster, then they are called as streptococci. For example, Streptococcus pyogenes. B. Bacilli or bacillus. Rod-shaped or stick-shaped bacteria are called as bacilli. They are commonly known as rods. For example, E. coli, Klebsiella pneumoniae, etc. C. Vibrio. Curved rod-shaped bacteria are called as Vibrio. They are commonly known as comma bacteria because their structure looks like comma shaped. For example, Vibrio cholera. D. Coccobacilli. These bacteria looks like both cocci and bacilli. More or less they have square-shaped structure. For example, Haemophilus influenza, Yersinia pestis, etc. E. Spirilla. These are spiral-shaped bacteria which looks like spring-shaped. For example, Spirillum minus. F. Spirochaetes. These are spirally coiled or twisted bacteria which are long and flexible. For example, Treponema, Borrelia and Leptospira. 2 higher bacteria. These are commonly called as actinomycetes. Actinomycetes are connecting link between bacteria and fungi. They have both characteristics of both bacteria as well as fungi. Higher bacteria are classified into 3 groups: actinomycetes, nocardia and streptomyces. 2. Higher bacteria. Actinomycetes. They are anaerobic and non-acid fast, cause actinomycosis. They are true bacteria but similar to fungi. They form a mycelial network of branching filaments. They are also related to mycobacteria and corynebacteria. Nocardia. They are aerobic, gram-positive bacteria. Nocardia is everywhere in the environment like soil, organic matter, and water. Virulent strains are relatively resistant to neutrophil-mediated killing. Streptomyces. Streptomyces is the largest genus of Actinomystota. They are aerobic, gram-positive, multicellular, filamentous bacteria. They are spore-forming and non-motile bacteria. Anatomical classification of bacteria. Classification bases on capsule, cell wall, cell membrane, flagella, endospore or spore, ribosomes, mesosomes, fimbriae or pili, plasmid, chromosome, capsule. Outside of the cell wall, certain bacteria contains a highly organized, firmly attached gelatinous layer called capsule. Most of bacterial capsule are made from polysaccharides except few bacteria like Bacillus anthracis whose capsule is made from polypeptide composed of D-glutamic acid, amino acid, and Streptococcus pyogenes whose capsule is made from hyaluronic acid. Capsulated bacteria is Streptococcus pneumonia etc. Non-capsulated bacteria is viridans, streptococci, etc. Cell wall. Cell wall is a tough and rigid layer surrounding bacterial cell. It lies between capsule and cell membrane of bacteria. It is about 10 to 25 nm in thickness and weighs about 20% of the total body dry weight of bacterial cell. Cell wall of gram-positive bacteria. Cell wall of gram-positive bacteria contains a thick layer of peptidoglycan. Besides peptidoglycan, it also contains some additional substances such as teichoic acid, teichuronic acid, and lipid. For example, Staphylococcus aureus etc. Cell wall of gram-negative bacteria. Cell wall of gram-negative bacteria is a double-layered. A thin layer of peptidoglycan occurs in the inner side of the cell wall of an outer membrane outside to peptidoglycan. For example, E. coli. Cell membrane. Immediately below the cell wall there is a thin membrane which is semi-permeable or selectively permeable in nature and surrounds the cytoplasm of bacteria. This thin membrane is called cell membrane. it is about 5 to 10 nm in thickness. Flagella. They are long, thin and thread-like appendage joined to bacterial cell at the one end and free at another end. They are tubular in structure, helical in shape and helps in locomotion or movement of bacteria. Those bacteria which contains flagella can move and are called motile bacteria, whereas those which do not contains flagella cannot move and are called non-motile bacteria. Structure of flagella. According to structure of flagella, it contains three parts, that is basal body, hook, filaments. Arrangement of flagella. Bacterial flagella are 4 types. Monotrichous flagella, Lophotrichous flagella, Amphitrichous flagella, Peritrichous flagella. One. Monotrichous flagella. If a bacteria contains a single flagella arising from one end, then it is called monotrichous flagella. For example, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Vibrio cholera. 2. Lophotrichous flagella. If a bacteria contains a cluster of flagella arising from one end, then it is called Lophotrichous flagella. For example, Pseudomonas fluorescens, Spirillum. 3. Amphitrichous flagella. If a bacteria contains either a single or a cluster of flagella arising from both ends, then it is called amphitrichous flagella. For example, Alcaligenes faecalis. 4. Peritrichous flagella. If a bacteria contains flagella arising from whole cell surface, then it is called peritrichous flagella. For example, E. coli, Salmonella typhi. Endospore or spore. Certain bacteria can produce dormant structure during unfavorable environment conditions such as high heat, dryness, nutrient depletion, ultraviolet radiation, which helps them to survive in such unfavorable environmental condition. These structures are called spore or endospore. Ribosomes. They are round or oval-shaped structure present in the cytoplasm of bacteria. They are smaller than eukaryotic ribosomes and 70S type. Ribosomes are site of protein synthesis. Ribosomes are also called as protein factory. Mesosomes. They are internal folding of cell membrane into finger-like structure. They contains various enzymes which helps in energy production, respiration of bacterial cell. They are similar in function to mitochondria of eukaryotes. Fimbriae or pili. Fimbriae are small hair-like structure arising from the whole surface of bacteria. They are made from protein and helps bacteria to attach to host surface. Pili are the long tubular structure arising from surface of some gram-negative bacteria which helps in the transfer of DNA from one bacterium to another. Plasmid. They are extrachromosomal DNA present in cytoplasmic of certain bacteria which contains necessary but unessential genes. The genes present in plasmid do not contain information essential for survival of bacteria but contains information which provides some additional characters to bacteria. Chromosome. Bacteria contains a single circular chromosome in their cytoplasm. Their chromosome contains single DNA which transfer hereditary characters from mother bacteria to their progeny.